Okay, I think I've undone everything. That looks like it might have cleared it up some. At least it's looking different on my end. Okay. Yeah, I think some of that is the difference when we were trying to do the team stream last night with Chris on his stream. It goes through the web browser, not OBS. And so running it through the web browser and going through NVIDIA Broadcast was making it bad. So then we turned around and I just went straight through the Realtek audio source, and that solved that problem. I just increased the volume a little bit, so hopefully that helps with the volume. So I'm gonna have to like take notes of the different setups as we do some things. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So welcome on in, everybody. Now let me, I can redo the intro if anybody wants me to, but welcome on in. Sorry about the constant audio issues right now. Like I said, we're trying to figure out the new team stream capability in Twitch so that we can do the stream on Saturday, because Saturday we're going to bring in KB3D Chris close to noon time frame so that we can do the giveaway of our Voron V0.2 printer. Wait, you can see here. So last stream we went ahead and we got all of the skirts on. We did have one snafu, and that's the fact that I cracked the door panel. So on the original kits, the door is just a solid sheet of acrylic, and you VHB tape the door handles to it with the magnets in the door handle piece. And on the newer model, well, excuse me, on the LDO kit that I had, it had the recessed spots to put your magnets in. And I got one pressed in fine, and then the next one I cracked the acrylic door on. So what I did was I grabbed the one off of my V0, and that's the one that's actually on here now. And Chris is going to overnight me a new door. So that should be here tomorrow, because I did get the overnight notification. So tomorrow, or probably should be here tomorrow by late. Yeah, that I was surprised to see it. And yeah, the solid acrylic's even better. It really is. So we'll do the solid acrylic. In fact, when the other one comes in, I'll see. I'm going to see if I can't clean this up a little bit better. It's a little hazed on the door panel because I've been printing like a year's worth of ABS in it. So I'm going to try and clean it a couple, 3 more times. And if I can't get it clean enough, then when the new panel comes in, I'll just swap the door out again. Yeah, it could have just been that it wasn't I'll say to spec, and I get fearful about trying to ream out a piece of acrylic, especially a 3 millimeter piece of acrylic that's been counterbored 2 millimeters. It kind of gets a little sketchy at that point. But I am going to bring up my browser again, because what we're going to do is we're going to get a print going. And to do that, we're going to need to start warming our chamber up. So what I normally do to help this out, knowing that I have a high temp filament in here, right? So the filament that's loaded in here is a newly opened roll of the red, the sparkle fluorescent red PCABS from Sparta 3D, right? And I've got it kind of down in the tool head, but I still need to heat it up and purge it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get this started at 280 degrees Celsius so that I can get it heated up and extrude a little bit to get it purged. At the same time, I'm going to work on heating this bed up, but I'm not going to say 110 right off the bat, because that's our target temp for the bed is 110. What I'm going to do, and this is partly because of, well, my room and the electrical circuits in my room. I don't want to put it on 110 and have it try and ramp full bore for that long and possibly trip the circuit, because I do have another print that's going on behind me. So one of the things that's going on behind me is Dragon, my Voron 2.4, is printing a Nevermore set for this printer. So what my plan is I'm going to print it in red and print it again in purple and try and just look at the color combination and see what we like better, whether it's a red frame with some purple accents or purple frame with some red accents, right? And yeah, so it's, most of the prints are doing good. There was one part, which is the part that has the graded front, which means it has very little contact surface. That did start to warp, so I had to exit out of that particular one. And I've got it re-sliced with a brim, so that'll help keep it stuck down. Well, there you go, Nick. Nick, that works as well. I mean, the VHB is not bad. It adds about another millimeter of distance between the 3 millimeter door, so it's about 4 millimeters between the magnets. But I mean, it does its job and keeps it shut. Oh, there we go. This one. Sorry about that. I mean, it does its job and keeps the door shut. So, hey, Pez Liz, how's it going? Apparently, I'm going to be playing. Let me see if I can do it this way. My Stream Deck has decided to not be recognized again, so let me unplug it, plug it back in, and hopefully it comes back to life now. There we go. Hey, Memetic, happy Thursday. Welcome on in. Hey, Pez Liz, welcome in. Yeah, just doing like the little circles and the corner edges. Yeah, that works pretty well too. Yeah, welcome in. So what we're doing is we're just heating some things up. So what we've got in here is a brand new roll of the red PC ABS that we used for all the red parts, like our extruder body. And I'm going to print out a couple of parts. One, because I wanted to replace the cam locks on the corner that hold the hat down, because that they're starting to get chewed up already, and they have a new design that just takes a 5mm Allen wrench. So we'll do that. And then we're working on heating up our bed as well. And we're kind of going in steps. I'm gonna get it to 80. And meanwhile, now that we're doing all this, I just extruded some to set that or to get the filament going. So now I'm going to drop the hot end temperature back down to 150. 150 is cool enough that it's not going to cook the filament in the printer or in the nozzle, but it's going to help keep some additional heat in here to help get the chamber volume warmed up quicker, right? Right now, our chamber temp, and this is a nice thing with the Pico Bilical, is we've got a chamber temperature sensor, and it's reading 38.3 C. And that chamber temp is on the tool head itself. So it gives us a pretty good idea of what the chamber temperature truly is. And that's even higher up than where the build surface and the hot end's at. It's actually up here. So it's up in the volume that we're trying to warm up as well. Ooh, a chocolate churro. You know, Nick, I hadn't thought about that. And I don't know if Ellie's tried doing fuzzy skin with the chocolate. Do you know, Pesliz? Okay, so the bed's up at temp. One of the other reasons why I say to step your bed temperature up is, one, we let it get to 80 and we'll let it solidify and go for a little bit, and then we'll raise it up. You can raise it up to 100, then 110, or just go up to 110 and let it sit there. But as it's sitting there, you're getting your heat soak time in. So unless you go through, and I have not figured out the magic macro yet, because everybody that says, oh, here's my heat soak macro, and I try it, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. So I don't know what the magic settings are to get a like a 30-minute heat soak on this to let everything kind of get to level, right? I will tell you that I did run a print earlier today on this, just to make sure it's going to get up there. The default setting for the hot end in the printer config file here is under the extruder section was 270C. So I went ahead and made that 300C because we're always going to shoot at least a degree on a hot end or a bed heat up. So if you're trying to hit 280 and you set it to 280, you're going to get a thermal shutdown because you're going to spike over 280 at some point, right? So I went ahead and made it 300. This is a Revo. It is good to 300. That's not an issue. And we're setting the max at 300. That doesn't mean we're going to print at 300, right? And most of the time you'll be printing standard ABS, which will be like 250, 260 anyhow, right? So it's just that this is a PC ABS blend, so it's going to have a higher print temp. And if you were printing straight PC, I believe it is like a 300 nozzle temp. Sorry about that, folks. So I did need to make that change so we could get it heated up to the right temperature. And excuse me, we've had it at about 4 or 5 minutes where it's been at the 80 degrees Celsius temperature right here on the bed. So we're going to go ahead and increase this to 110. Now, the other thing, and I don't remember this. Okay, how about 110 and not 10? That would be a better temperature. Another thing that I've had or I've encountered is if I'm taking a bed, especially a larger bed like the 2.4 or Trident. Oh, hey, Britt. How's it going? Hey, Thunder Keys. I just saw that you were up there too. Let me kind of scroll back here and see who all is in here. Who all do we have? We've got Alacidra, Creatix Brit, Dropsnat, Mark Zink, Medic, Minibice. I got some mini. Yep. Tesla, Stephen Poole, Thunder Keys, Team Moore, and the Mick. Welcome on in, everybody. Yeah, I did not realize that was you, Thunder Keys, that made the comment about the LDO panel issue. And yeah, I get that. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Lurking while you drive home. Okay, be safe. Be safe on the way home. Type first said my husband had to take over my computer. Well, why'd you let your hubby take over your computer? You just got a red Kirigami bed in. Will go perfect with the 2 different color orange frames on my. It probably will, especially if it goes by like Polymaker color schemes, because it'll say red and it'll actually be orange, or it'll say orange and it'll be like green or something. Oh, he's fixing your bot. Gotcha. So funny enough, on the Kirigami beds, what I've tended to do is I've so whatchamacallit, LDO in their config had a bunch of different LED statuses put in there. I didn't realize that. What I normally do is just grab the stealth burner LED and throw it on my V0s for these lights here, and just run them with those macros for the lights. So setting the heating status or the ready status and stuff like that. So I've got that squared away. But all we're doing is letting things warm up to temp so that we can print. And once again, we're printing a little hotter than normal on this because we're using the Sparta 3D Sparkle Fluorescent Red Polycarbonate ABS blend. So we're going to be printing this at 110 bed and 280 at the hot end, right? I mean, knowing you're free for ABS later is good. Oh, are you getting ready to do ABS for the first time, Teslas? What do you think of the square frame on the 0.2 versus the angled bed? Square frame versus the angled bed. Are you talking about the squared off top hat versus, I don't know what you mean by the squared frame versus the angled bed. Or are you talking about the extruded bed frame versus the kirigami? Oh, the angled top. I actually like this a little bit better. With that angled top, I mean, it's not bad, but I wound up having to add the utility belt, which is like 20 millimeters tall, because my PTFE tube was rubbing over the acrylic and was crazing and marring the acrylic on the top pin. And I like this squared off look a little bit better, honestly. In fact, yeah, the package that Chris is overnighting to me has my upgrade kit for my own V0. So I'm going to be doing at some point, I'm going to take my V0 down and redo it as a 0.2 update. I'm probably not going to go, well, one, I haven't figured out a place to source the actual Pico umbilical stuff versus just the V0 umbilical. So if anybody knows where to find the LDO Pico umbilical, let me know. And I'll consider switching all my stuff over to that because I like that way of running things. But I've already got the kirigami bed on mine, and you know they've changed up some of the parts, so I will reprint all the parts. And it's baby blue. It was done in Polymaker Blue ABS, but I just realized that underneath the desk here, I've got Atomic Royal Blue Carbon Fiber ABS. I believe it's the carbon fiber one. It's Royal Blue ABS one way or the other. So I was thinking about redoing all the printed parts in that. And I know I've got their black carbon fiber ABS. So I will probably keep the same blue and black color scheme and just redo all the parts with a royal blue atomic filament and the black carbon fiber ABS from Atomic. Because why not? And then the salad fork, which we got the parts in. We talked about the salad fork last night. So I was going to say, while this is heating up, oh wait, this is heated up. Our chamber temp is at 40.8 C. So, hey, and speaking of KB3D, if you want some merch, feel free to go out to the KB3D store. That is an affiliate link. And unfortunately, the affiliate link, it's not like just an affiliate link for kb3d.com. For whatever reason, it's tied at the end of an item. So I tried to pick the best item there. But if not, and you want to go and get something and you want to use my affiliate link, you can always just add the AFFP equals 3151 at the end if you get something other than a GT2 pulley. But I did get a package in from Deep Fried Hero with parts for my salad fork. And we've got black anodized aluminum den rails. We've got the backer bars for the Y-axis. We've got the nut bars for the linear rails, for installing the linear rails. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Thunder Keys, is I looked all over the place and I couldn't find it. So I may have to reach out to Jason and see if, what the timeline is on them. We've got all of our linear rails, which are DFH branded linear rails. So we got MGN 7s, and then the x-axis is going to be an MGN 9. We've got our motor kit, which is basically a Trident motor kit, just basically at the V0 size. So same motors, I believe, for the A and B and the extruder, and then 3 of the integrated lead screw motors, though they're not Teflon coated. Any and all products added to the cart after following the link are counted. But Chris, do they have to use that link? In other words, if they follow that link but don't use it, will it count? Because that was the issue I had on my last order, where it didn't seem to count the affiliate link. We've got our motion kit with the belts and all of our pulleys and goodness like that. I'm just letting this heat soak a little bit more and chatting here. We do have our bed. Our bed is of the 160 variant. So it is a 24 volt, 150 watt heated pad. And this is a aluminum build plate, but it is anodized black, which will be interesting. But everything's there to include a double-sided textured PEI sheet and magnet. We've got a fasteners kit. We've got the aluminum pen mod kit. I guess they sell both the aluminum and the steel one, but I have an aluminum one. And then, wait, this is the motors. The other one is the frame. So the frame is going to be a wonderful little palette. So this is where I'm saying I get to pick some nice colors. This appears to be a powder-coated white frame, so it most likely came from our friends at DLL PDF. You want to see some of their other handiwork? I know Aaron's getting ready to do a build. Aaron 3D, sorry. He's getting ready to do a build with one of these frames. He's doing a Pandora box. And KB3D is in the process of building a Voron 2.4 with a orange powder coated frame from DLL PDF. So this frame looks pretty nice. I can tell you now that looking at this though, the profile here on profile, come on, give me the profile cut. Please, play nice. So the profile cut here is the maker beam, not the style that's used by LDO and Masumi. So the LDO and Masumi, the bottom portion isn't squared off, so it doesn't look like a full plus. It's got an angled bottom to it. So these are the maker beam. But we'll work around that. It's just critical because on these maker beam ones, you cannot do those like the after the fact nuts that we used on this one in a couple of places, where you put in the printed part and then a roll-in square nut and then pull the square nut on top of the printed part. That will not work on these frames. So we're going to have to be very cognizant of that when we go and do our build on this. And so I've been talking with Chewy, and he's going to be sending out, I believe tomorrow, the rest of the parts for the for his 2.4 build. And that's going to be critical because the one thing I don't have are the deck panels. and we're going to need the deck panels as soon as we get the frame put together. So we may, I don't know, we'll see how fast that gets here, if we'll start on that one, or maybe we start on putting together the salad fork and maybe run 2 builds in parallel. We'll see, maybe do salad fork on weekdays and then the 2.4 on the weekends. We'll see something about that. But it looks like we're nice and toasty now. We've been sitting here heat soaking for a bit. Our chamber temp is at 42.3 C. So we're doing good. Hey, Dan, Maker Mind Nexus, welcome on in. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this or reprint this job here. And what we're printing out, and like I said, I printed these in the purple just to do a test print earlier, is a little triangle here, and this is the mounting for the Nevermore that's printing over on the 2.4. And then the new version of our Camlock nuts that just have a spot to run an N5 wrench in them versus the Voron logo. Because the problem with the Voron logo is just a couple of times I've run the cams, it's starting to eat away, or not eat away, but it's starting to mess up the cams. So we'll print these new cams in the fluorescent red to replace the ones that go there. And yeah, but these are what we're printing out. Just 3 small prints. It's going to be a very short print just to print and show that we can print with it, and then we can find something else to print. Maybe we'll do the cube again now that we've done some input shaping and some other tests. Be safe, Timor. With your lurk, I believe, I can't remember if you go to work or not, but be safe. Clean up that coffee spill. Yeah, just trying to get Maker Mind Nexus out real fast. I don't know why, but actually I do know why, because I brewed this on the strong setting, so this is straight caffeinated on the strong setting. But how you like the cup, Dan? So I got this up on my Stream Element store, and then at the suggestion of the Free Heathen, I dropped this down, just made it just a tad bit smaller, moved it up, and added Digital Dragon 72 under the bottom of it. And it's printed on both sides. So and I will say, as you might be able to tell, we are running this at speed. It's not going to get too fast because these are small parts. But this is my standard profile that I am running on my V0.1 and have been running on my V0.1 for a while. So I figured, yeah, why not break this in and just go full send? Now, before we put the panels on, I did run Input Shaper on this, and the Input Shaper came out well. I didn't even think about trying to pull down the Input Shaper results. So while we're sitting here chatting, let me do that. Where Putty went. Two of them. Okay. I'm going to try and what's going on. Play this game. Okay. Did my keyboard die? Mouse is working. Keyboard's dead. That's awesome. Well, if life will work with me, and that's apparently going to be a big no, we're going to try to log in and pull down our input shaper graphs so that we can show people. I figured I know at least Zombie might want to see those. Aaron, how are you doing? You are Aaron 3DP. I couldn't remember if you were 3DP or not. Let's see if this works. Hey, Shenanigans, welcome on in. Welcome on in. So for those of you just joined, yeah, you can just say Aaron. Well, yeah, but I know that you're getting ready to start streaming. So what I wanted to do is make sure that I actually called you out as appropriate. And for whatever reason, my keyboard is not wanting to play nicely tonight. Like working 10 minutes ago. You guys always have tech issues in the middle of your streams where your stuff just stops working? I thought. Apparently it was a bad thought that I had more batteries up here. Maybe that's a negative. Well, blubber nutter. Ooh. Give me 1 second during the ad break. Yeah, all the time, exactly. I figured somebody's got to be having the same issues. The subsector, you missed a darn good conversation the other night. We're going to see if we can steal some from here, if these will work. We were over on Chris's stream, and you know, he's got his laser pecker 4. We were talking about that, and happened to make the comment about I've lost my bearings. He keeps dropping his balls and, you know, having to work with his pecker all the time. And then I'm also, what was it, Pezliz? I always got my, the balls energy drink and then spilling his balls. Then I've always got the gloves and the lube. I'm doing stuff. All right, now I'm just beginning to think that my thing hates me. Let's just try undoing the whole receiver and plugging it back in. Sorry about this. At some point, I'd really like to be able to pull up some graphs for you folks. If I can get my keyboard to. Now this is really weird. Now I'm wondering if it's. I'm at a loss. Why would my keyboard completely stop working? Windows, you're annoying. Somehow I have a feeling that this is Microsoft. It's something to do with Microsoft. Oh, we're back to this. So we're back to where scrolling with the center wheel on my mouse does not um, scroll the page up and down. As you can see down the bottom right, I scroll with my mouse and it's like doing something with the zoom. Why, I have no idea why all of a sudden it just does that. Oh yeah, it's true. You do have some nice racks. I don't know. Creatix Brit, it's starting to drive me crazy. And me and Microsoft are about to have a really bad relationship, and I'm about to, like, I don't know, completely redo this thing and put Linux on it or something. Oops. Look at that. They've added a completely brand new tool. Awesome. That's great. Let's drop or change the scene. So you guys aren't sitting here watching me. Yeah, Linux all the way. I'm telling you, shenanigans. I'm that close. The only reason that I had Windows up here in my office was because this was my gaming computer. And if it's going to give me this many fits, it's going to wind up being Linux soon enough, because I know I can run OBS and stream on Linux. Wireless MX Mouse Master, 350 and a M510. Okay, this is the K350. You're saying that that's connected. Okay, well, if that's the case, then why is it no working? Oh, but control. Okay, I gotta stop or I'm gonna get upset. Yeah, and keyboard's still not functioning anymore. I'm I'm at a loss. At a loss. Why all of a sudden my keyboard is not working? It's got to be something. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Me and this computer are gonna have a heart to heart over the next couple of days. You have two laptops running Linux. I'm thinking I might make a desktop change one day. Well, and my work laptop is a MacBook, and my personal laptop is a MacBook. And like I said, I had this machine. I always kept. Okay, that's the second time it's done that, and it's just changed on its own. I did not touch anything, and it just selected a different screen. It did it to me yesterday when I was talking with Chris as we were testing things out, and it happened right when I plugged in my soldering iron, and all of a sudden it changed scenes. Like I am I am lost. I am still not working. You push the button there. Yeah, there you go. It's probably Evil Diesel broke in or something. Well, yeah, there you go, Aaron. I mean, I'm seriously thinking I'm gonna have to change it. It's just getting weird. Hey, Ram Online, welcome on in. Yeah, I love the Mac OS. Yeah, I just word back horizontal. So maybe this is something in the settings of Chrome where Chrome's like sucking things in. I don't know. I don't know, stop playing. So our print finished. Things are cooling down. Now, because we were printing this, hey, how's it going, Evil Diesel? I got to ask, you haven't hacked my system and are playing with my scenes and stuff, right? Because I was sitting here talking like this and my scene in OBS just changed. And it's happened twice now, 2 days in a row. Nope. Okay. I guess it's time. It'll be time for a, because my keyboard's not working either right now. So, which is strange. Yeah, so something funky is going on. So I will be um probably blowing away all drivers and redoing drivers tonight. Yeah, I have a feeling it's just Microsoft being Microsoft. The only thing I have for OBS is this, the makeshift Pico Stream Deck. Yeah, it's a makeshift Stream Deck with a Raspberry Pi Pico. And what I'm going to do, if I can get the cable untangled, is just physically, we're going to just disconnect that and see if that like stops working things. No, it didn't do anything with the mouse. Don't have like I, I don't get why that mouse, which should be screen scrolling and not. So if anybody can tell me why my darn mouse, yeah, if somebody can tell me why my mouse in Chrome just apparently turns into a zoom only feature versus a page scrolling feature, that would be fabulous. Um, and yeah, like I said, my keyboard no working as a keyboard right now, so I have no idea what that's about. So yeah, I think a just full reboot of the system is in order. But like I was saying, basically what we need to do is let this cool down nicely. If we open this up and try and take these parts off right now, I mean they're small enough they may not work, but I wouldn't want to take the chance, right? Yeah, my scroll wheel should act like a scroll wheel. It's not acting like a scroll wheel. It's acting like a so I'm over here in Chrome, right? Scroll wheel. It's it's changing the zoom in, zoom out, not scrolling the page. And it's always scrolled the page until the last couple of things or last couple of days where all of a sudden it stopped doing that. Don't think so. Oh, maybe. But I just beat the crap out of Control Key and oh, are you kidding me? Okay, Ram Online, thank you. Apparently the Control Key was stuck. Because I don't know if you just heard me. I just like smacked the crap out of the Control Key. I guess maybe I need to take my keyboard apart and clean it up. Pop all the keys off. Let's see if I can remember the order that they go in now. We'll try and plug that back in and see if that breaks anything now. So a stuck Control Key on the keyboard. Any thoughts on a Ender 3 switch wire conversion? So there's an Ender 3 switch wire conversion, and there's an Ender 3 switch wire conversion. The only reason they're not up and printing right now is my internal power issue in this office. So I've got, let me play nicely now. There we go. So as you can see, I have quite a few printers in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 printers, 13 printers in this room. And this room is all on a single circuit. If I kick more than a few of these, especially ones that are printing real high temp, I pop the circuit breaker, because this is also my my office, right? So I've got other computers and stuff going on. So what I'm still needing to do is this back wall here is like I'm above my garage, and my power panel is about where the IKEA rack or the IKEA SCADA system is down below, and the garage is where my power panel is. So I'm going to get an electrician to come in, get up in the attic, and pipe me 2 circuits behind here that are 20 amp each with 4 outlet drop boxes. And that way I will run all my printers off 2 dedicated 20 amp circuits so that they won't impact the rest of the stuff running in the house or in the office. That's the only reason I'm not running like the switch wires and have a bunch of other things on at the moment. Yeah, I've got 3 Prusa Mark IIIs and my Ender, my heavily modified Ender 3 that are over at Evil Diesel's house. He's the Dragon Den Site B. Yes, sir, Ozzy. It is a good mod. It is a good mod. And KB3D Chris actually has the, so I've got both the clear and the dark mode panel kits, and KB3D has panel kits that are designed for the Dark Dog Ender 3 switch wire conversion, and they don't use all the VHB tape. They go together with printed parts, heat set inserts, and M3 button head caps or button head screws. Yeah, and Aaron, I've got, pretty bad when I got to sit and count. I have 6 other printers downstairs in the dining room right now. So that is correct, Evil Diesel. One of the Prusas has the MMU2 on it, so he still needs to figure that out. Not a problem, Aaron. Not a problem at all. So yeah, I've got 6 3D printers downstairs in the dining room right now. 3 of them, I've got a Fabrico Rook, the Rook 2020, and the Bugboo 210, which is another, well, it uses an Ender 3 bed, Aussie, and it's a Core XY conversion for what amounts to an Ender 3 bed. Think of it like a sort of like a Rook scaled up, and all 3 of those are sitting on the actual dining room table, printing Toys for Tots stuff right now because Mrs. Dragon isn't here, and they've been sitting there since Earth. So when Mrs. Dragon gets home, I've been told I have to relinquish the dining room table. Then I've got 3 other printers, and that's the Ender 5 Plus turned 0G Mercury 1. Good God. sorry, and the good guide was I like keep seeing ad breaks in progress. Like I don't know why Twitch did something and like default increased all of the ad breaks, whatever. So I've got the 0G, the Ender 5 Plus turned 0G Mercury 1, the Prusa Mini, and the Ender Belt sitting on the old kitchen table, which is like the butcher block style, sitting against the wall in the dining room. So there's been days where I've had too many of those going, and I'll pop that circuit breaker. So yeah, but this is good Toys for Tots time. And once Mrs. Dragon gets home from all of her travels, then I will relinquish the main kitchen table and not print 4-day prints on the Ender 5 for a couple of weeks. Because she comes home and I have a printer running 4 days in a row, she's going to lose her mind. Sorry, I apparently turned one of the lights off. Turn it back on. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Well, but yeah, and then you also see that I've got the Elegoo Mars 2 here, but it's warm enough to print in this room, but it's another thing that I've printed with it and Mrs. Dragon can smell it throughout the house. So she wants me to go out into the garage with that, and I cannot do that in the wintertime here because I don't have an insulated garage. So we're gonna have to balance that one out. And I've got a couple of carbon filters in it, but you know, those only work so much. Yeah, the Evil Diesel. We'll get your MMU going again. I need to figure out. Does anybody know? Did they drop the MMU finally for the Mark IV? As in the MMU 3 for the Mark IV? I can't remember if they did or didn't. So our bed, and this is why I'm telling you, our bed is still sitting at 69 degrees Celsius, by the way. So once again, it's still fairly warm. It's still cooking just a little bit there. Now, what I will do, pop these off, and I put them down at the bottom. Now, you got to be careful on these. You can do this on small prints where you can push them over to the side like that. But if you got a larger print, you cannot do what I'm about to do because the bed drops down to the bottom. What I'm going to do is start heating things back up. Once again, just keep our chamber temps down at 40°C. We're just going to try and keep that up a bit. So the MMU3 kits are out, but it's only for the Mark III. I think Mark II and Mark III. It doesn't, the version for the Mark IV isn't out yet. And that's the version I want because that's the one that enables better two-way communication with the 32-bit board that's in it. Oh, that one's empty. Good thing I had spare. Yeah, and let's go slice something else. Anybody have a suggestion on what to download and slice? knowing that we'll do it in ABS? Something fairly small. Well, so Evil Diesel, there's gonna be a difference between an MMU and the black box, because the MMU is 5 filaments into a single tool head, which means you need to really be running the same uh, type of filament, and it's more of just different colors, right? Because you don't want to mix PLA and PETG because they're printing at different temps, and going from PLA to PETG would work, but as soon as you go back to PLA and drop down the temp, you'll get clogs. Now with the black box, you wouldn't have that issue because you've got 5 independent tool heads that can be lined up at different temps. Oh, no worry, Aaron. If anything, I was just going to get ready to be like, before you tear apart the V0. So are you going to tear apart an existing V0 to build your Pandora's box, or are you building a completely separate machine? Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to build a completely separate um what was I showing off earlier? The darn it, the baby trident. Salad fork. Goodness gracious. Um yeah, so I'm going to build a completely separate salad fork, but I did order the parts and they're coming in for me to take my V01 and rebuild it as a V02. Right? So that stuff's coming. Okay, V0 is set up to print ASA carbon fiber right now, and you want to print boot parts in that before I tear it down. Okay, so boot parts. Is there some place to get the rail for the boot, or are you having to buy a rail and cut it yourself? I'm just curious because you've got the tap kits from LDO and a couple of others out there. Are there Okay, Fabrico's selling boot rails? Okay, good. Already cut. Now, Aaron, remind me, are you with West 3D or Fabrico? All right, Evil Diesel, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Fabrico. Okay, that's what I thought, but for some reason, I don't know why West 3D popped in my head the other night when I heard you on your staff helper in their Discord. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so I had my Fabrico Rook was over at the table at IRF next to Delmar's. If you were there, I just couldn't print with it. It prints just fine. I just couldn't print with it there because I didn't have a clipper screen on it, and I couldn't get any Wi-Fi there to work. Okay, cool. Yeah, that. So I used to live in Florida. I grew up in the Orlando, Altamont Springs area. Hey, Chewy, what's up? Everything's been going well. You can see down here along the edge rail of the printer, there's a couple of 3 parts here. These are parts that we just printed. We are printing high temp. That's why the lid's down. And we currently have the tool head sitting at 150 and the bed at 110, just to keep things warmed while we figure out something to slice and print on our printer here. You know what? I wonder. Let's why not? Let's test it out. So let me make sure I'm on the right printer. Voron V0.2. We're going to go to our PC ABS. Standard Voron. There we go. Let's add. Add. Oh, 50mm rail for Fabrico, your staff helper on their Discord. I order often from Fabrico and KB3D. Yeah. And I go through KB3D and or Fabrico normally as my first choice because I'm East Coast. I'm in North Carolina. And if I can't get it from one of those two, then I tend to go over to Tensor 3D or West 3D, just because I know it'll be a little bit longer to get here, or DFH. Printing a ukulele right now. Nice, Chewy. Hey, Eagle Brett. Um, yeah, who else has a ukulele? I think didn't Zombie have a ukulele? He won something with said ukulele too, didn't he? Stripping your Anycubic for parts to build a Rook or a Voron. Yep. Soccer season started for a 13-year-old. Oof. Rough, rough, rough. I remember those days. Yeah, running around and their whole days based on their schedule. All right, cool, Monlight. You have a whole new project soon. What project are you going to be working on then, Pezliz? If you can tell us. Oh, and I will tell you this. So remember before when we printed with this on the last couple of streams, we've been printing PLA. So we did the bed screws adjust and had everything set for PLA. Well, that PLA is printing open air. So we had the top up and the door open, and we were printing at like what 60, 65 on the bed and 200 on the tool head. Well, now we're printing 280 and 110 in an enclosed space. So things adjust. So what I did was heated everything up, let it soak for a little bit, did a home, and then it did a bed screws adjust. And I did have to tweak the bed screw adjust just slightly. It wasn't major, but just remember that and be careful, because if you don't and you print a lot of PLA or PETG, and then you go to do high temp like PC or like nylon carbon fiber or something like that, your bed and your hot end are going to be at a lot different temps, and they're going to be closer or farther, well, closer. So remember to adjust your bed screws adjust whenever you're doing major temp swings like that. Um, okay, good, Peslis. So that's where you're talking about needing to work with ABS and getting zombies help on that. So yeah, that works. Broke the tuner nut. Now Chewy's out there breaking nuts. And Chewy, refresh my memory. You said you're going to send a package tomorrow or Saturday? Because since I'm going to need at least that one bottom panel, I'll double check the manual, and if I can work around it, then we'll go ahead and start that build on Tuesday. If not, then I may do, what I'm thinking is I may do the salad fork build Tuesdays and Thursday nights, and then Saturdays do the 2.4 build and run 2 concurrent builds until Black Box gets here. So that'll give it some more time to get here because, well, apparently the stickers I ordered from Stream Elements were delivered today because DHL said they were delivered. The post office, which took over from DHL at Raleigh, said it was delivered and was in my mailbox. But when I went and looked at my mailbox, it was empty. So I've got a call out to my neighbors asking when one of them finds my package if they can leave it at my door. So my postman is really getting on my nerves. He's either sticking boxes like the Alien 3D boxes. So it's the kiosk style, right? So when they have the kiosk doors open, you can slide the box in. But when you shut the kiosk door, because mine is the top one on the kiosk, the outer door for the mailbox has like a 1/4-inch lip on it. So the box goes in, but the box doesn't come out. And I've had to cut 3 packages open and pull everything out of it, and then basically rip the box down in the mailbox to get it out. So it drives me nuts. And then the other thing is they deliver to the wrong mailbox all the time, which is lovely. You need to go get a box because you slept all day. Well, shame on you. No, dude, sleep is good. The other day, let's just say I slept in, not intentionally. But the good thing was I didn't miss a meeting. That's good. Yeah, I got you, Chew. Monlight. I got 250 gram of PET G and 6 rolls. And if someone pays shipment, you'll ship them. So you've got 6 different rolls of PET G, and they're each 250 grams, or added all up, they're 250. Well, and that's the thing. There's just a time when your body was, well, especially with me, I'm not a spring chicken, and yeah. So there's times when you just push yourself to the limit and your body just says, nope, that's it. You're taking a rest. Yeah, it is so weird. And what was weird is like apparently FedEx and FedEx ground freight are like 2 completely different companies because FedEx can deliver a package to my house all time, every time now. The only thing I have is I've had to put a note on my garage door that says, stop leaving packages here, walk the extra 50 steps and put it at my front door under where it's covered from the elements. FedEx Freight gets lost every time because they go beep, boop, boop, and put in my address, and they don't realize that it changes the town on them, and it's like 20 minutes away. Drives me nuts. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Your limit is 3 to 12 hours a day of what? Sleep? Or must have missed something there, Chewy. Yeah, there was somebody else that where like their insurance or their provider basically said, well, we can't give that to you at the local place. It's like a half hour, oh, Silverback, where they changed the location for his treatments. And it was like a couple hour round trip drive versus a, what used to be like a 30-minute drive. And you can't get, normally you can't get like you can get intercity transport that can take you there. But when they send you like 2 towns over, it's hard to find transport to take you. I know because my son did that for a while, and my dad did that for a while, where they were transporting people around to their different appointments and stuff. And so yeah, I get that. That's rough, man. Um, no, 3 to 12 hour work days. Oh, 3 12-hour work days in a row. Oh, dude, there was days in my military years where I went. Um, so I worked in locations where I had a security clearance, and I was going through a divorce, and I I did not want to be at home because home reminded me of all the bad things that were going on. So I was at work. My spouse was downrange at the time, which was part of the issues. Um, and not to get into too many details, our kids were back in the States because I was supposed to be deployed as well. And yeah, I'm wearing my Sparta 3D shirt. Anyhow, I was working like 14 to 16 hours a day and 7 days a week because I couldn't stand to be at the house by myself going through everything. And it got to the point where a couple of my coworkers came up to me and said, like, hey, you need to stop being in the office. Like, they're getting suspicious of you being around all the time. I'm like, really? There's cameras everywhere. Like, whatever. And I know what it was is, it's a change in pattern that starts throwing up red flags. But yeah, I had to find other pursuits to keep me busy. Can't say I picked good ones because they involve throwing darts and drinking. But so yeah, I am wearing my Sparta 3D shirt today, which is eat, sleep, print, repeat. Um, because once again, to highlight that we did use Sparta 3D filament for this printer. Once again, it's all their PCABS blend, and it's the Sparkle Purple Mist and Sparkle Fluorescent Red. I really like the Sparta 3D filament, and it's really not that expensive. I haven't tried their ASA/CF yet. I did get, what did I? Um, Now you've got me twisted and turned around, and I've got to find my other stash. So Sparta 3D. So I got KVP, Polymaker, Fusion, Where's, did I put it in here? Oh, yeah. I've got too much filament. Yes, it's in here. So I've got their regular sparkle ABS. That's what it was. I got 5 kilos of the regular sparkle ABS, and then I got the PC ABS. I haven't tried their ASA CF stuff yet, but I do have ABS CF from Atomic, nylon CF from Polymaker, and some PC CF as well. So yeah, I've got a lot of different types. So I think I'm going to use Prilene PC CF for the black box parts. Yep, Britt. Part of 3D was some nice filament, so I did get a bunch of filament while I was there. They were supposed to send me a spool of the PCABS Purple Mist to try out when I did the other order for the regular ABS. That didn't come, so I ordered PCABS. And so I ordered 2 red, 2 black, 2 of the Obsidian Black, and 2 of the Purple Mist. And they sent me the green. So, yeah. Has anybody printed PLA polycarbonate? I don't know if I've ever seen that. So I'm going to change the look and view again so we can watch this print. Okay. All right. So Chewy, you were talking about Modlite and the filament. So Ozzy, the next build, I've got a Voron 2.4 that I'm building for Chewy. I need to look at the manual and see if I can work around the not having the deck plate right away because I'm still waiting on that from him. And that's going to get shipped out in the next day or two. If I do need that, because I know it's right after you do the frame that you throw that deck plate on and then you start working on the Z motors. So if I need the deck plate before I can do anything other than the frame build, we may hold off on that and start doing the salad fork build, which is another printer about this size, but it's basically like a Trident in 1515 rail, right? And in that case, what I think I'll do is I'll do the salad fork during the weekdays. So Tuesday and Thursday nights will be the salad fork. And then Saturdays we'll be doing the Voron 2.4 for Chewy. And then after that, we'll have black box. And what else did I say? I did make a post on the Discord server about kind of what projects we had in the works. I'm thinking there was another one. Well, I'm trying to figure it out real fast. Well, I wrote it down and put a post out there because I knew I wasn't going to remember. So the general channel, we're finishing up this. We're doing the announcement. So this is basically done. We're printing. We're just breaking it in a bit, right? And then we're going to make the announcement on this on Saturday as far as who the recipient is. And we'll be making that announcement at noon. Okay, I go live at 10 Eastern time. I will be making the announcement with KB3D as far as who this is intended to go to at noon Eastern time Saturday. And then we'll go for however long on Saturday stream. Then we've got the chewy build. We've got a salad fork. And then we'll be getting a black box build from KB3D. He is sponsoring the main printer build, meaning, you know, the frame, the electronics, the water cooling system, the whole 9 yards. And I'm doing the tool heads. So the bulk majority of that's him. Then I'm going to buy all my tool heads in the configuration that I want. And I think I'm going to run 3 Revos and 1 standard M6 threaded heat block, because that allows me to try out different nozzles and different things. And then I'm going to leave the fifth spot open right now because he said that there's some other options, like other tool head style options that will be coming out. So I'm going to leave one available to be able to do that. We're going to ship it FedEx, so it should be there this week. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is UPS might ship them depending on what size the box is, or I'm sorry, yeah, UPS might accept it, but yeah, ship it FedEx if you can, dude. Ship it FedEx if you can. So yeah, that's what we have on the docket right now. And I'm still sitting here between a Annex K3 or a VZ bot. I'm thinking I might do the Annex K3 and get that into the build queue. I keep teasing Chris with KB that, you know, the black box is probably going to be pretty intense of a build. So we might need to take a break and maybe take a strategic pause on that and go build something a little simpler like an Annex Engineering K3. And he kind of chuckles when I say that. Yeah, and the VZ bot, you know, I keep looking at the mellow kits. I'm glad that they've got the mellow kits now. And I'm not sure if I would do like the 330, because you do like the 330 and then you add all the electronics on the back. And one of the reasons why the Ender 5 Plus 0G is downstairs is because it does not fit on, well, it fits on these benches and the feet literally sit on the steel rails. And my biggest fear is it walks a bit and slips off the edge and slams down on the skirts and the electronics. So that's why, hey, Royal Nomi, welcome in. That's why it's downstairs on a wider table. So I'm thinking about doing the smaller one, the 235, because of that. So yeah. Thanks, Modlight, for doing a shout out for Creatix Brit. If you could do one for Royal Nomi as well, I would appreciate it. And then also one for Aaron 3DP, who is getting his stream setup done. Right now, he's been streaming printing, you know, just things printing. But he is going to be doing, I believe you're doing your Pandora's box as your, I'll say to pop your streaming cherry. As far as trying to do a build on stream. Ram Online, are you referring to the VZ bot or the K3? Your frame for Pandora shipped this morning, Aaron? If so, that's awesome. Hopefully it gets there shortly. And you had a custom powder coated one coming from DLL PDF, right? God, that's gonna kill me. because DLLs are Windows libraries, and then PDF, of course, is an Adobe Acrobat file, portable document format. So that's going to drive me. It's going to. I'm going to finally get that acronym in my head, and then it's going to stick there forever. Yes, please, if you have not done so already, go click the link on Aaron and give him a follow, because I'm really looking forward to watching that Pandora's box build. I really am. BZBot Rails on X and Y. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not a problem, Aaron. I'm looking forward to seeing you start streaming, and I'm just sitting here watching all the automation you already got set up, and I'm like I'm hitting a button to do a bunch of stuff. I need to work more on my streaming stuff and get my automation set up. Add a little bling. Um, so it'd be what Royal Nomi is BC underscore 2 underscore 3D, I think. Yeah, there you go. BC underscore 2 underscore 3D. Oh my goodness, you have Cards Against Humanity set up on your stream? That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, BC is Royal Nomi's husband. He has a stream that she has basically just completely taken over at this point, because he's been going to school, and between work and school and the lack of sleep and other medical issues and stuff, Royal's been basically taken over. It's kind of like Westery One, where it's really Mia's stream. Westery just has her name on it for legal reasons, you know. Um, so yeah, yeah, definitely. I wanted this stream to just be kind of a chiller stream. We're probably not going to run as long tonight. Once again, we're just printing and breaking some stuff in, not breaking it, but just breaking some stuff in. Um, and just showing her off. I mean, she's fully dudded up. She's got her skirts on, her panels on, the nice top hats on. Everything's working well. Um, and once again, we may have been a little concerned because remember, all of our panels were put on without VHB tape and without any, I'll say, foam or gasketing material like you normally see on your Vorons, right? So they're just basically press fit. And if I put my hand up to the side, I feel the warmth, but I'm really not like, it's pretty airtight, right? I mean, the panels themselves are warm, but it stays pretty airtight. And right now, the chamber temperature sensor is reading 51.5 degrees C. So it holds heat well. I'm glad you're starting to feel a lot better, Nomi. I know I'm sniffling, but this is just allergy. Yeah, and let us know if there's anything that we can do to help out Mod Light. We've got an awesome community here that we support each other, and let us know, and we can try and figure out some way of helping you out. Yeah, and like Royal Nomi said, just take it one day at a time. We will have some type of break in the coming months as well to the stream schedule, probably. Um, when I went to the eye doctor, they did say that yes, I was going to need cataract surgery. It'll be a couple of days off. When they do each eye, they'll do one eye at a time. So they'll do the one eye. I'll have a few days off. And then it'll be a couple of weeks before they do the other eye. So I'm still waiting to hear back from scheduling. I have absolutely no idea how long it's going to take to get in to do the scheduling because I haven't heard back from them yet. I also need to call my insurance and figure out why they haven't got the referral done yet. Yeah, I I'm definitely not going to forget. Um, but like I said, I need to get hold of my insurance, and because I have a feeling um, when I tell University of North Carolina Health System, I was like, I need a referral. They put in a referral from their office to the other office, not to TRICARE, which of course is the military insurance. So yeah, their internal referral doesn't do anything for my insurance. Well, I gotta call and find some of that stuff out. That'll be a tomorrow thing. But yeah, so what we're printing is a flexible crocodile. We've been printing a lot of those lately because they're part of our Toys for Tots stuff. And I find that, printing them out one at a time, I don't get any issues. But if I try and print like 4 or 5 flexies out at one time, I sometimes run into issues, especially with the smaller pieces having a breakout and then causing issues. Um, but yeah, these little guys are coming out. I've been printing a lot of them in the Starlight filaments from Polymaker. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it actually because I've been having so many issues. And then driving at night's getting, I don't want to say dicey, but it's a little more of a struggle at night when I'm getting the headlights dead on. So yeah, Tricare loves loopholes, don't they, Royal Nomi? Yeah, like I said, flexibles, I do have some issues. Now, right now, I am printing 2 of the curled up version on the bamboo, or not bamboo, God, the bugaboo, um, which is kind of designed, like I said, it uses a inner 3 bed, so it's 235 by 235 bed. Um, 3 lead screws tied to a single closed loop belt running off of 1 motor. Works perfect, works great. It's billed as being a cheap like bamboo P1S, right? Um, but when I did these, for whatever reason, on the tail, The next to last link is the only part that it did a brim on. And don't ask me why, but it holds the last 3 links well. And I don't know why only those sections got a brim when I did that, but works well. And it'll do it on this one on PLA, but when I just did it with the PC ABS, I did not see a brim going, but it's sticking well enough. All right, not a problem, Modlight. I can get you stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing in different countries, because I think has Liz the Canada's got a I'll say it's a free healthcare system, right? But you guys don't have like health insurance in the sense like we do, but it's I mean you guys pay for it obviously in taxes, but the healthcare system is a lot different up there. Yeah, free. Free does not mean fast, right? Because of that. Yeah. And that's kind of like what we deal with um your military insurance or things like the VA, right? I had a friend who had PTSD issues and voluntarily checked themselves in for psychiatric support, right? When that was done and they got out of the hospital, they went to the VA for follow-on care and VA said, okay, here's your appointment. And their first appointment was 6 months away. Sorry, what? You know, and then they wonder why we've got so many mental health issues in the military and other parts of our society is when you sit here and say, okay, it's going to be, you know, years or whatever, it's ridiculous. Um, Now, normally with TRICARE, it's not that bad. I've gotten fairly good health care out of the TRICARE system, but I'm also paying into that system still, right? But the VA, yeah, it's something that's military connected, either disability or injury or something. But it's just kind of whatever, and we don't have the highest quality um, providers in the VA system either. Yeah, exactly, Creatix, Brit. Profit over people. I agree with that. There's some people in the so let me qualify that, Britt. The healthcare providers, aka the doctors, the nurses, the surgeons, they are very good. And for the most part, I've had really good care providers. Now, when you say the healthcare system as a joke or as a whole as a joke, yeah, the insurance providers, the HMOs, the hospital administration is ridiculous. Yeah, the docs and the nurses, the EMTs, they're great. The system is broken. I will give you that. Um, yeah, 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 and I get you there. Um, and if you've got money, you can get better care and you can get to the front of the line on a lot of care here in the US, which I don't agree with. You know, it should be medical need, but, you know, it is what it is. Well, and that's the thing too, is like, so I have TRICARE Prime, right? There's TRICARE Standard and TRICARE Prime. TRICARE Prime, I pay less in copays and stuff like that, but um, I have to get approvals. So I'm going in for an eye surgery, which means it falls under my standard health insurance, and my primary care provider has to put in a referral, not my eye doctor, right? Which is just stupid crazy. But if I had TRICARE Standard, I pay more for visits, but I can go to whatever doctor I want and I don't have to get referrals. But everything is pay as you go, and it's a more expensive cost for all those services, right? So there's trade-offs, right? We have high premium options and we have low premium options, and the difference is the high premiums you can basically go wherever you want, but the low premiums you wind up going to the in-network doctors that they can pre-negotiate prices with. So, but yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go, old man crab arms. Like we're going through open season right now for my work, and it's great because it seems like every year they do some type of change or adjustment to the medical healthcare stuff, and I don't use it because I do TRICARE with the military. So 90% of mine is just yes, I want to keep going this, and do I want to keep the same amount for like my was it the HSA health services account or whatever? Okay, yeah, yeah. So it's the Medicaid stuff. Yeah, exactly. So that yeah, medical costs just stink all the way around. Well, I have news for you, Wolfman Crab Arms. I think everybody's is going up regardless. I mean, I haven't looked at the options, but one of my guys, we had open season on, we just started open season on October 25th, and it goes through like November something. Well, one of my guys just went out October 26th for surgery, and he's out for like 3 days or 3 days, 3 weeks because of his surgery. And they do a leave of absence. And whenever they do a leave of absence within the company, they disable all of your logins. So he had 1 day to make his selections and get everything put in. Otherwise, it wouldn't. I'd have to do something because all of his accounts were going to be locked out. You found a banned word. Uh-oh. Well, I guess you found one of the banned words. I probably know which one without looking. But because of the ones that I know I set, there's one that you probably pinged on. It's probably the one that I got auto modded on a KB3D stream the other night. What did he win? Apparently, he won a 1-second timeout. Oh man. Yeah, Wolfman. Yeah, I may take that one. I may take that one back off the list because I'm pretty sure I know which one pinged you. Um, not used often, but yeah, when we start talking about things like insurance, I can imagine it gets used. And Monlight, yeah, I am sorry to hear about that, my friend. Really rough. So I guess the treatments aren't a cure, but it's to prolong things. Okay, so what you have attacks the organ soon. If you get a transplant, you'd be right back at square one. It would attack the organs, which, if I remember right, might be a disqualifier for the organ transplant list in and of itself, right? Oh, I got Aaron 3DP is live. Are you just streaming prints or subsector just went live with a okay, you've been live, it's been live? Gotcha. I just happened to something buzzed in, so I happened to look. And I think it was subsector going live with I guess she's gonna be working on a Raspberry Pi 4 project. No, it was there was a slew of them. So I was trying to say there was something about how they said they had to increase it so much because we used it too much. Exactly. Yeah, I get that, Wolfman Crab Arms. It's just like your auto insurance. You're afraid to actually claim anything because if you claim something, then you have a claim, and all of a sudden your race get jacked up, and it kills me. So, and that happens even if your insurance company had to get involved to get you back on the road because the person that hit you was dragging their feet. But yeah, 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 I get that model. Feel sorry to hear about it, my friend. Yeah, On a side note, I made comment about Subsector said she's going live working on Raspberry Pi 4 project. I'm interested to see what she's working on, but I've got I am flushed for my printers here for a little while for Raspberry Pis, and I think I've pretty much switched over to Raspberry Pi 4s now instead of the 3s, because I've got 4 of the Raspberry Pi 4s and a Raspberry Pi 5 now. So, and then my wife picked up some more Raspberry Pi Zeros, but they're the Zeros, not the 0.2Ws. Well, they're 0Ws. So I'll have about 6 of those for other projects. So we'll be doing some other projects. And I do have, if you were on KB3D stream last night, he did finally get me started on it. So my killer project wiring job, you know, Wagos and some jumper cables to make sure everything works. This is my BTF 100-5, so the 20 amp 5 volt. We did have it plugged in. It does work. I've got 3 separate strings, so what, 180 lights. We'll get our strands going. It looks like the I was waiting for the diffusers to show up. So my plan, yeah. You need to reset your Pi password for Octoprint. It is being grumpy. Oh, interesting. So is it the Octoprint password or the Raspberry Pi password? If it would work on, that seems weird. Well, it would have different IP addresses, so I wonder if something was cached in your browser, Wolfman Crab Arms, like a session token or something. Treatments is to find a cure for the other. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Timor. Yeah. Yeah, that's my big thing. Like when I gave Gold Dragon to K2 Kevin, I told him, I was like, you're gonna have to re-image the Raspberry Pi and set it up on your network, because when I image my Raspberry Pis, I do not stay with the default password, and I do not change it after the fact. I change it during the imaging process, which is why it takes a little bit longer when you first log in, when you first power up the Raspberry Pi the first time, because it's going in and resetting all the UID or the GID for the file system, because you've assigned it a new password. It seems like it's a new user. But this one is standard. So this one, the Raspberry Pi login is Pi and Raspberry, because it's going to a new home, and they will just have to reconfigure the wireless for it. All right, my light sounds good about sounds good, Mod Light. And yeah, we'll definitely reach out and talk about that collab this weekend. We're always here to chat. Know that? Yeah, the community is always here. We get it, and you know, I think we're good at banding together for the most part. So, hey, layer by layer, welcome on in. All right, take it easy, Mod Light. Thank you for being here. So layer by layer, just joining in. We are printing and chatting. We've been chatting about health stuff and complaining about health insurance and things like that. But Rodney Mack, howdy, welcome in. So today was, breaking in the V0.2 with high-temp. So earlier today, I printed off a couple of things just to figure some things out, and I'm glad I did, because these little parts right here are printed in the Purple Mist PC ABS, which prints at 110 on the bed and 280 on the hot end. And the printer config in here had the hot end limited to 270. So we went ahead and set that to 300, and we got to printing. So we printed this, which was real fast. And I got some stringing, so I realized, that the filament here was probably sitting out and absorbed some moisture. So it's sitting down there cooking in the filament dryer. And we've got the newly opened spool of sparkle fluorescent red, which is the accent color that we used on the printer, aka the tool head right now. And we're in the process of printing the Nevermore that will mount in here on Saturday. Over on the Voron 2.4, because it's too big to print here. And we printed off the new cams that are sitting down here at the bottom. So remember, when you home your V0, it now homes down at the bottom. So do not leave big prints. You can leave smaller prints like that in the side just to let them sit there and maintain the heat so they don't warp. But we are printing this at 280C on the tool head and 110 on the bed. Layer by layer, I have not named this. The reason I have not named this is because it is not mine. It is not staying with me. This Saturday, on Saturday stream, I'll go live at 10 a.m. like I normally do. But at noontime, KB3D and me will announce the recipient of the printer on stream. So we're going to use Twitch's stream together capability. Fingers crossed, hopefully it works. And we'll have KB3D and a special guest on, because we're going to have a special guest announcer that's going to hype us up, because he's good at doing that. So I asked him today if he would join us and hype us up some, get everybody excited. And then KB3D is going to make the announcement of who's getting this. He sponsored the kit, I built the kit, and he's going to tell us all who's getting the kit. So this is Sparta 3D polycarbonate ABS blend. So their normal ABS would print at 255, 260, but this is a polycarbonate blend, so it prints at a higher level. It was not a giveaway that people entered already. This is a maker in need. This was not a giveaway. I will tell you that I've known who this was intended for since day one, because we talked about it at ERF over breakfast. So I know about who this was going to, but yeah, this is going to Maker in Need. Yeah, it's great. The colors do scream Magneto. I'll agree with that after seeing it all together. But hey, Pete, welcome in. But this is very much a KB3D had someone in mind for it and gave me the kit to build, and I was building it on stream for the content, and we're going to do a joint stream on Saturday to announce the new home for this printer. And yeah. And I'm trying to get some lighting and effects done. The diffusers, I just got notification that the diffusers should be sitting downstairs. But the plan will be, I've got to test the lights work. I know the lights work. I need to do the integration with Stream Elements, but I'm going to mount them. They're 1 meter length, so they'll go just about the full length of these rails, and I'm going to mount them in this little recessed channel, but on the backside, so they'll backlight against the wall, and I hope that that'll be good. I think having them here, they'll still be too bright and annoying. I mean, I like the colors, but I don't like the, especially as you guys do lighting effects behind me. If we're on this view, it'd be really, really distracting. And I might add something to this bench as well. We'll see. Yeah, thanks, Pete. Yeah, and like I said, there may be down the road, there may be a printer, a different type of printer giveaway. But we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah. That's true, layer by layer. I've got the diffusers. I want to try them out in the diffusers and see what they look like. And if it looks like if it's been too diffused, then I will figure something else out. And maybe just go without them. But I'll see. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put one in a diffuser and one not, and kind of see what they look like. You're building a hot box printer based on a zero-G motion system. You have all motors outside the box using a Bowden tube to the hot end. I would like to make it direct drive. Maybe I could water cool a direct drive motor. Any suggestions? Internal box temp. Oof. So you're trying to get the... What are you printing that you need a 120C chamber temp, if I may ask? And really, ooh. I mean, yeah, at that point, even running high temp motors from, because he does have the high temp NEMA 14 motors. In fact, no, I don't think this one is the high temp, but they do make the high temp version. So like they've got a, yeah, so LDO's, I'll say the gantry motors. So you can get the A and B motors and the extruder motor in a hot or in a high temp configuration. And I think those are good. I think those are good. As Ram Online mentioned, up to 135C. Of course, putting a passive, the passive heat sink on them won't do anything if it's in a chamber. But I don't see why you couldn't water cool it. Okay, and Rat Rig has the steppers outside the box. Good to know. Because even the 0G design for the enclosure has them inside the enclosure. Yeah, the Dragon Egg Hatchery. There you go. 135C is in your head. Okay. Yeah, that'll be Khaleesi. Definitely. I mean, this is current chamber temp right now. We've been running hot temp print now for I don't know, close to an hour, I guess, or more than an hour now. How long have we been streaming? We've been streaming for 2 hours, so about 2.5 hours. So this has been cooking for a while, about 2 hours, and we're at 52.4C as identified by the chamber temp thermistor. Yeah, that would be a good nickname for that. Either that or start going through like Dragonlance or Dragon Pern novels and getting all the names of the dragons out of them. Which is something I probably should start doing. Go and get all those and start going through. So Chewy, I believe the active chamber temperature or the active chamber heater patent has finally been uh uh run out. They did not renew it. So that is why was it Keedy? Somebody just came out with one with a chamber heater in it. Yes. There is now a commercial one with a chamber heater. Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, I was printing with this. Of course, yesterday I was still just printing the PLA, but I had the top open, the door open, was standing here, and the heat that was coming off of this, just printing normal PLA, with another one going behind me printing the PCABS stuff. I wound up turning the AC on and knocking it down to like 68 because it was so warm in here. Like I was sitting here sweating. Yeah, that's the other thing is in the summertime, if I get several printers going up in here, yeah, the AC will pretty much run full tilt all day long. Um, Especially if I'm doing like ABS prints on 2 or 3 printers. Yeah. Cool. And the chamber will probably heat up a little bit, I'll say faster and better on this once we get um the Nevermore in here because I'm putting the Nevermore V6 in. So it'll have dual 50-15 fans at the bottom, sucking in and blowing through the carbon filter up one side. So we should get good circulation. Like this is going to be like a full on convection oven. Hey, Chris, welcome back. He's been lurking for a while because he's been driving home. They hadn't plowed enough snow over in front of your house yet? Oh, I could. I could probably take this and set it down on the floor and then get the V0 going down there. Hey, Chris, I just saw the Stream Elements post about merch. Did you get your coffee mug? What? And you like ordered the day after I ordered mine. Still nothing, huh? I wonder if Chris too snuck over and got it, and he may show up one day at work with it. That would be funny. Oh, sweet. He would and hold it ransom. Probably would, wouldn't he? Yeah. When are you getting KB3D coffee mugs or the hat? Told you I wanted a hat and a mug. Dude. Oh, that's what I need to put on a shirt and a mug. Oh, you know you should add a Stream Elements merch store, Chris, and put on there the not more uh, the not more BS 100-5. That would be funny. Which there's a bunch of people from the stream that would probably buy those. Yeah. So what I think I'm going to do, Chris, is the diffusers. I got noticed they're downstairs, and of course it's 45 degrees outside, so that's going to be great. I'm going to walk outside and then be freezing for the next hour afterwards. But I'm going to go grab those diffusers later after stream. And tomorrow I'm going to check the lights out to see if it looks better with the diffuser or without the diffuser um, mounted to the back, and see if it dims the brightness too much with the diffusers on. Why is that, Chewy? I mean, I've got the notification for the 4 pin one that'll work with the EBB 36 and 42. I've got notifications, so when it comes in stock, I'll order it. And if not, then I will manufacture it myself. Miss Timor said that thing's not coming to her house. So, yeah, Chris, you do have in stock and not listed yet an umbilical version from Lineo. So there was a 4-wire DuPont lineal harness that I did see. In fact, I've got the notification on because I had it added to the Chewy 2.4 order stuff, but it was out of stock when I went to check out. So if you can't get yours to work, it's probably not the cable, Chewy, because the easiest way is to just continuity check all 4 wires on the cable end to end. And if the cable continuity checks, then it's not the cable. It's something in the config. Okay, gotcha. It would work whether it's in a cable chain or not. I mean, you can just put it in a cable wrap and boom, it's an umbilical. You'll post pics in the Dragon Discord? Okay. Well, if you got one, Chris, I'm going to need one for the Chewy build. Because Chewy, we were going to do umbilical, right? Not cable chains. We're going to do umbilical and the mount the Y-axis on the A motor and the X end stop on the tool head. You got the board to work on 5 volt, not on 24 volt. The CN Linko. What the hell connector is that? Oh, and then I look right over and it's sitting right here. Okay, I got you. So so it's got the aircraft, the flange connector and the aircraft connector on it. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, and I saw that you had the XT30 for the SB20, 2040 and 2209. Yeah. Well, I need me one of them. Yeah. Okay, Chris. If you don't mind, just throw a couple in my basket. When I do the next order, which will probably be coming in a couple of days, I'll I swear I need a separate bank account just for KB3D now. Well, and the nice thing is when you order your SB2040, they come with the XT30 plus 2. They'll come with the XT30 plus 2 JST for the connection at the board. So that's already done. All you have to do is do the pinout on the other side. Oh, exactly, Aaron. Okay. Yeah, no, that's like a home equity line for me, Chewy. And because Miss Dragon likes to lurk, I won't even make mention of how much I've spent with Chris lately. All right, be back 1 second. Started getting cold all of a sudden. Probably the fact that it's 45 degrees outside and Let's put it over there. Yeah, definitely a few shiny pennies. Reminds me, Chris made a comment that I needed solid fork panels. I can't remember if you have. Do you have a panel set for solid fork? Do you have them in stock? Like the panels for solid fork or the cables we were just talking about? Ooh, door window acrylic panel kits. That's right. And the reason I didn't buy them is because I wasn't sure if I had the 120 or the 160 kit because DFH didn't actually, it didn't make mention. Yeah. Here's the critical one. That one. Oops. Top of the thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't get it before, is because I was waiting to see what bed size I had, so I knew what size kit was coming. Haha. Yeah, it seems, if I get the big one, then the small one shows up. Now I'm, you know, if I get the small one, then the big one shows up. It's a different issue. Oh man, now I got to decide: do I do clear or dark mode? I will do clear so we can see everything. You say it's in stock, and I look and it says last item in stock. Really? Um, so that's the top panel, side panel, front door panel. You have the deck panels and stuff. You have those Big Tree Tech cards. I can try stuff out and fill in some info. Um, I'm, I don't know. Oh, apparently, I'm going to have to order some bearings because that's the only way I'm going to find the ones that I've lost is to order new bearings. And then when I go to put them where I'm going to store them is when I will find the ones that I apparently can't find. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Now I'm ordering stuff on, or putting stuff in my KV3D shopping cart before I forget. Ooh, by the way, Chris, I was banging my head around looking for mounts for the Drop Effect XG, only to realize that the Mini Stealth Burner, there's a mount um for the Drop Effect XG for the Mini Stealth Burner. So maybe I'll put that in the salad fork. And so what are my options? ACM or what else? Yeah, there's an official one in the repo. I was like, oh, okay. ACM or black PC for high temp resistance. Otherwise, just like in V0, acrylics can hold up well. Okay. Um, yeah, let's just go ahead and do the acrylics. I mean, that's fine. And I mean, by high temp resistance, I mean I'm printing. We've been printing this for a couple hours now, and it's at 52 C chamber. So all the acrylic seems to be holding up. Black acrylic for the deck, the back, and the bottom. Yep, that works. I just know that the deck plate and probably the bottom plate are different because I mean, you got to get the DXFs off the salad fork repo. Exactly, where that bed is sitting right there all the time. Yeah. But cool. We'll let this cool down a little bit, and we'll pop our alligator off, and we'll see how well see if we fuse it together at these high temps or not, or if it's flexy like it should be. Yeah, so I don't see deck panels stuff in here, so I'm assuming that you'll have to do something on your end for that. What's our catalog? MR85 easy bearing. Grab a few of those. Yeah, the new cam pieces that we printed off earlier, Chris, they just got the oh, they just got an M5 front to them, so it should be a lot easier to work with on these, so we don't damage them as easy. And we got the parts for the Nevermore that's almost done. I think I'm going to print it out in the red and the purple and then kind of play with the parts to see how it looks the best, because we're going to mount it on this right hand side here. That should hold up better in my barbarian hands. Oh, okay, I got you. I was like, what is that about? But you were talking about the cams, yeah. Yeah, those should hold up a lot nicer than the other ones. Because like I said, as you're trying to twist those other ones, it is giving some as you're trying to work it like a screwdriver. So, yep. So we may go ahead and push the envelope a little bit. The bed's down to 85C, the chamber temp's at 46C. I may open this up and just kind of let the air out a little bit as we swap out the cams and go that route. Hey, come on. Nice. Give me the cam. Really? No, it doesn't want to give me the cam. Oh, yeah. I've burnt myself. In fact, all right. Well, I've still got the couple of scars on my arm down here. They're not as bad anymore. You can still see them a little bit where I was reaching into the 2.4 and grabbing, trying to get the the little booger off of the nozzle tip because I don't have a brush on one of them, and hit my arm against the 110 C bed. Got a nice little Mike 6 size burn there. All right, so you're turning fine. Why are you not coming out? Well, maybe we're keeping those cams in there because they darn sure do not want to come out for whatever reason. So we have a fully flexi and articulating sparkle fluorescent red alligator. Yeah, it's flexi. And yeah, I saw that Big Jano's live, and we may jump over to Jano here because I haven't seen him on in a little bit. And like I said, I didn't have a ton of content for tonight. It was really just letting this go and print something high temp just to show off that we can do high temp cool things other than just printer parts. A little bit of strain, but not bad. So yeah, keep flexi. There we go. Nice gator. Yeah. I've been doing gators, dolphins, penguins, and chameleons. And I've got like 3 Amazon boxes full. And they're like Amazon boxes that I get Polymaker filament in. So, yep. So I did see that Jano's live. I'm actually going to raid out here soon because it's, yeah. I'm going to raid out and actually eat dinner at a decent time tonight while I watch Big Jano and play some marbles now that he's back to streaming. So thank you all for being here. Chris, thanks for chatting. Yeah. Oh, got you. Got you. Grab the hot plate. Hey, thanks, K2 Kevin. Appreciate it. So we just pulled off a flexi, and he was printed curled. So it's the curled version. And this is actually printed in polycarbonate ABS. So the same red that we used to print parts in here. So we just printed this at 280 on the nozzle and 110 on the bed. So yeah, it does flexis. And the chamber temp was up to like 52.5 C the whole time. So, but we are getting ready to raid out into Big Jano. And then Saturday, as I mentioned, I'll go live at 10. We'll work on a few things. We'll chat for a while. And at noon, KB3D is going to join me. And he's going to announce who the recipient is for this printer. right? So we're going to bring him on stream. We're going to use the Twitch stream together setup. So hopefully that works out fun. And we'll announce who this printer is going to go to, and we'll have this printer printing that day. Yeah, and hopefully you'll have your coffee cup. If not, I'll have mine, and we'll just be continuing to show it off. Might have some lights by then too. We'll see. All right. So with that, let me get this RAID going to Big Jano. And thanks everybody for being here. See everybody Saturday. Have a good cup of coffee and be ready for some hoopla, I'll say. Mini Bice, we're going to raid out now, and this Saturday at noon Eastern time, we will be announcing the recipient of this printer. All right. So thank you all very much. Go with me on over and let's raid Big Jano and give him a big welcome back. He just came back to streaming after his move, and we will see you all on Saturday morning. Thanks all. Have a good night.